Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself, or know your nation, know yourself. All right, here we are. Special show for you. So, first of all, it is great to have Dave Johnson, Moonrider, back and literally down under. But I think is it Adelaide time, isn't it? It's Adelaide time for you, isn't it? Is that
It is,
correct?
most certainly.
So as you guys know, I think Lena's over in Melbourne, isn't she? So I think there's like
Yeah.
half-hour difference or something. It gets very confusing at this time of year, folks, because the clocks are in between. You guys have already gone forward. UK goes forward this Sunday, and when does clocks go forward in Australia, Dave? Or go backwards? I think for you, isn't it? You're going to fall just to make it
I
extra.
can't even figure it out. I just go online and I'm like, what time is it in London? That's as far as my mathematical skills. I actually went to law school and they had those word problems. I got 0%. I got 100% of the other points, but I literally could not. The birds flying, the trains going. I'm like, no, 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 I'm out of here.
What times is the train shows up in Munich? Is that what you're talking about?
Right, right. And then the birds flying at 30 miles an hour, and when do they cross? And
Oh God, yeah, it's
how
just
many
like
times do you take out the trash? And I'm like, no, 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 no. There's no reason for that.
bless. Well, just to introduce, of course, the my other guests. So, of course, we have Sheila here of Celtic Tarot, looking in sort of mystical, sort of purple this evening, which is looking
All
very
in
nice.
purple today. Yes, I am.
Loving that. Loving that. And of course, last but not least, we have birthday girl. Yeah. Birthday girl, Lady G. So happy birthday. And I hope you and the dogs had a really good time. And I hope you had a nice bit of cake. Did you have any cake or treat yourself to a burger or anything? Or did you buy something nice? I bet you bought something nice. You got yourself a little.
I got beautiful shells, ni'i hao from Hawaii. Very special shell necklaces.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. And as we know, Lady G is a trendsetter when it comes to the world of YouTube and online. Always got a fantastic look. Thank you guys, everyone in the comments here already. We have an action-packed show for you. It ended up being like 5 pages of questions. So forgive me if we're not able to answer all your questions this evening. I think even when you counted in the dialogue, it was ended up being like 32 conversations. So obviously we can't do that. We manage normally about 6 or 7, so we'll do our best, and I'll try and respond to some of your other questions as well, because some of them are very relevant. But without further ado, let's dive in. We've got a combination here of things, and I was just kind of scanning through thinking so there's people asking, of course, about the insider trading. So there's all of that stuff. Oh, that one that could be a number 7. That's a good one. Let me put here Peter Thiel. And I've been going on my own deep dives myself. Sorry?
No, somebody said happy birthday, Sheila. I was like, no, not me, Lady G.
Yeah, Lady G. All right, so this first question that's come in, the way we do it, folks, as you guys know, we go clockwise. So it starts with Lady G, then Sheila, then Dave, and then me, and it repeats again. So this question's coming from Amber Wood. Thank you so much for your question. So they say here, hello, Hoagie and illustrious guests. It says here, Don Huffins owns Zorro Ranch. Oh yeah, I've heard of him. But claims he intends to do something different. He worked for EPS. Oh no, he worked for Epstein. What worked for Epstein may not for others, she says. This vile organization will have to try other avenues in order to stay solvent. What are Don Huffin's true intentions? Will he truly change, or will it be the same but with new methods? Oh, I'm not quite sure what the person's trying to say there. So from what I understand, I know Don Huffins owns Zorro Ranch, and from what I understand, that there's soon going to be an investigation there, isn't there? Isn't that by
I'll give you a little bit of information on that if you
yeah,
like.
if you could give us some
Lady,
context
go
there.
ahead. She knows.
Yeah, because you are Phoenix. I mean, you are that area,
Yeah.
sort of.
He says he's going to turn it into a Christian children's thing is what
No.
yeah.
I can't wait to sign up.
And he's also
Are
renamed.
you kidding?
No, I wish I were, but no, that's what he says. He's going to, just really cleanse it up and make it into a children's Christian camp.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
These people are so despicable. I can't even. So when we know what has happened at that ranch, and there are allegedly dead bodies there, which I think they've moved, by the way. That's just my personal thing. Obviously, they've had a heads up for the longest time. I think they've moved the most compromising evidence. And then the audacity to be like, to kind of like Christian wash it and make it into a thing for kids, when the most horrible things that can happen to a child have happened at that place. These people are just utterly diabolical. Okay, well, let's do a 1-card pull on this. Oh my God! Oh, it just makes you cringe, doesn't it? Just makes you cringe.
So, Hoagie, can you say the question like a little bit?
Yes. So basically, let's see the energy of what's going on, because what Lady G is giving us the background here. This guy wants to turn Zorro Ranch, which is one of the most infamous child whatevers in history, into some Christian child playground thing. So let's just see what's the energy around this guy, and what is he really trying to do? What's the motivation behind it? 1-card pull, Lady G going first. And we reveal after 3, and you can use, of course, your psychic gifts as well, Dave. Oh my God. Diabolical. Oh, it just makes me cringe. What's going on? All right. Okay, we'll go after 3. Lady G going first. 1, 2, 3.
I've gotten the wheel is turning, but I thought this deserved one from the Noir Tarot as well. And I got the reckless moment with the bullet, and that boat's not moving anywhere. Okay, so it's not like it's moving to something new and great. No, same old thing.
Gosh, oh my God, oh, that's so gross. Okay. So basically same energy, but just a different guise. Wow.
Yeah.
Sheila, how do you interpret your card?
Power supply. I mean, the power supply. They need, what they're into is children, and they need a power supply. And how do they make everybody not look? It's a Christian camp, so nobody's gonna look, right? This guy, if you ever seen his face, or even him and his wife, he is creepy.
Yeah, creepy. I've seen both their photos. You're just like, nah, demonic.
Yeah. And so, I did a remote view on my channel. It's probably why this question is coming up. A little bit of deep dive into what's going on. But yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised I got power supply. That's what powers this whole thing. Our children.
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh. Dave.
So
this is so gruesome, but yeah, Dave, what do you get?
It's kind of hard to read on because I'm so grossed out. I'm just like, I want to see it. And maybe you guys can tell me. I got the swiftness card from the Crowley deck. I think I got it right side up. Right? Maybe you guys have an impression of what that means. You guys are all better at tarot than me. But as I just check in now, I mean, I see one thing that you already mentioned. They moved the bodies. I kind of feel like there's one missing, like they moved a bunch, but they forgot one. But I also feel like sneaky guy, this creepy guy that you're talking about, he is the problem. He is totally in the mix of this problem. He is kissing as much butt as he can. Of course, he's going to make it a Christian camp. This is a cover. Oh, no, I was Christian the whole time. Trump didn't do anything wrong. Maybe that's the swiftness. I feel like they're just very quickly making this a cover up. I'm not sure it'll work. I think there's some elements where it might not work, but certainly he is part of the group that's trying. These people have no morals, no scruples. There's nothing they wouldn't do.
My goodness, yeah. And the way I interpret your card with the swiftness, of course, they are just working like the clappers to quickly turn things over, get rid of evidence, all of that stuff, which they would have been doing anyway, but it's almost like they want to whitewash it as much as possible. Oh, gross, gross. My card here is I've got the Page of Pentacles. Pentacles, of course, can talk about money, but it's not just money. It can talk about values, and it can literally talk about the earth. Yeah, it represents the element of the earth. Pages are also about messages. So this could be messages about what? Something coming from potentially under the earth, we'd have to see. And it's also a youthful card as well, associated as well with like young people. Not necessarily like Six of Cups is the classic for children, or maybe like the 10 of Cups where it's got the little family on there, or even 10 of Pentacles. But it does talk about younger people. So I'm thinking, but also as well, this says to me as well, bribes, money going backwards and forwards between local officials and stuff like that. So, oh God, it just makes you cringe, doesn't it? These people, they're just, gross, absolutely gross. But okay, let's move on to sorry, go on, Sheila.
I want to mention one more thing about him. His son works for Trump. His son has a job of some sort in Trump's cabinet. So what does Trump do? I'll give you a favor. I'll employ your child.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah, it's a
quiet.
Yeah, classics. Absolute classics. So corrupt. All right, let's move on to the next question. Just even getting into the energy of that was just yuck. Right, so this is coming from Nick Minks, this one here, and she says here, media have been watching large gains made in stock market, which appear to be directly related to prior knowledge of US moves in Gulf. Will there be charges brought for this insider trading? So just to add a bit of context into that, as you guys know, I'm very interested in the economics as well. This is actually going around the globe, actually, because I watch a variety of independent media as well. And there's a guy who focuses a lot on US and Asian politics, Asia. And he particularly talks about stuff in South Korea. South Korea are all over this on the news. They've got Trump's face, they've got Barron, they've got the other brothers, all of the people doing it. They're saying, look, you see here, this is the thing here, showing that. BBC has been talking about it. This has been talking around the globe. Europe is talking about it. So there's definitely something going on there with the insider trading. So the question here is, will there be charges brought for insider trading? This time, Sheila going first, and we'll do a one-card pull again. Oh, corruption. Oh. Insider trading. Oh, look here. Come on, let's for the insider trading. All right. We'll go after three. 1, 2, 3. Oh,
well, we have legal proceedings, which gives us a little bit of hope. Legal proceedings can be all kinds of things. They could bring charges and it could last for 20 years. However, what this tells me is they are aware, and somebody is complaining, and somebody is wanting to put a stop to the illegal insider trading. So legal proceedings of some sort sounds like it's going to happen.
Oh, okay. Well, that's quite encouraging. Dave, how do you interpret your card? What's your thinking?
Hanged Man upside down. Again, you guys are all better at tarot than me. So, but let's just as I check in, let's see who. All right. So, Spirit, are they going to get punished? Someone's nodding and saying yes. I think there are people in the background who are, they're not in power yet, but they're really working on this. And I'm kind of getting FBI are not so enamored of Donald Trump at this moment, right? So I think there are elements of the government who really want Trump out. I'm looking at the spray of American politics. American people are getting pissed. Even the Republicans are getting pissed. These people are paying huge numbers there are people who are calling me and telling me I don't have money to feed myself. Forget the readings. I can't feed myself. I can't put my gas in my car. If you're going through this and you're watching Trump and people make all of this money while you are starving, you can't feed your kids. I think even the diehard Trumpers who are having those experiences, maybe not the ones who aren't, but those who are actually starting to rebel. And I think there are people within the government who are going to take advantage. It's not going to happen during Trump's tenure, but I think there are some who finally had enough. It's like we'd accept a couple of billion in corruption, but 3.3 is in Trump's pocket now. Barron, we're not going that far. So that's just my kind of gut thing, but I do see somebody is paying attention. I see light too. There's shadow, and then there's just light. So I think maybe we will see some justice here.
Oh, fascinating. And also as well, could that be, just dialing in with what you're saying there, Dave, could there be an element of political survival and pragmatism here? Because as we see, the dial is moving so rapidly. And may I interject, of course, with a little bit of astrology, everyone. But as we know, I've been saying ad nauseum, Jupiter is soon to become exalted, on the 1st of June. But he's currently in sidereal Gemini going direct. But the closer Jupiter gets to the sign of Cancer, the more exalted he becomes. Think of it this way. Jupiter exalted is the tide that lifts all ships. So this is when even the blockheads with literally woodworm riddled all through it, even they are starting to wake up, and a lot of people are. So the energy is changing. So the politics is going to be very different soon, folks. Here, the question was about, will there be accountability, isn't it? And I've got here the King of Wands. As you guys know, I associate the Wand suite with entrepreneurship, and particularly the King of Wands really does talk about businessmen in general. Could be a woman, but in general, it's a businessman or the business community. So what this says to me, I think there is an element here potentially within the business community that are really pissed, because of course, if you are not part of Trump's ultra elite, you're getting screwed as well. And obviously they don't have access to that, knowing when Trump is going to send a tweet saying, I've made peace with Iran. And then the next day, then he's like, like the market closes, he declares war on Iran. When the market's about to open, oh, I've made peace. They've said he's talking to himself. So I think this is resistance coming from the business community, those that are not in the club and have been screwed over. Lady G?
Well, I pulled one also on the bottom of the deck. So what's underneath of it all? And we have the card of the Fool, the emanations. So the choices made in life are coming up for them, and it's oppression. It's the 10 of Wands, the burden. And I see that as the wheel, again, the wheel is turning. And so their days are numbered with this. It's not going to happen right away, but yeah, they're now becoming very pressured with what they're doing because they are going to be watched intensely.
Aha. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, well, good reading, everyone. So interesting, isn't it? What comes out of these one card pulls. But it also means we get to cover some more questions. So let's keep going at pace. Well, actually, let me just say hello to some of the people. I mean, the chat is just like a torrent. There's so many here. Here's someone, I'll just click up on this one here. Paula says, orange turd, I think, with the emojis there, just got uncovered, giving big oil lots of oil from reserves with no payment due in the future. So there's that. And then one person here, I saw this video as well. Leo says, like the woman that said she voted for Trump 3 times and she is an idiot. Her words, not mine. Yeah, because in a way, one of the things I'm learning is this, a little tangent here, cultural thing. In Britain, we talk a lot about the weather. Yeah. If you've never met a person before, one of the things you can always talk about is the weather. And what I'm realizing in America, if you've never met a person before, one of the things you can always talk about is the gas prices. Yeah. Would you agree? It's something that is universal and everyone understands. Yeah. From the bottom to the top, to the top to the bottom. And when that gas price starts to move politically, stuff starts to happen. All right. So this question is in from Denise Ferguson here. And this is about extra troops. So, oh my goodness. Anyway, let's, the world. So she says additional forces, including 2,000 paratroopers and maritime units, are set to arrive in the Middle East on Friday, the end of a 5-day window for negotiations. I remember Iran are like, Trump's negotiating with himself. They're not talking to him directly. What is Trump's next move on Iran after the markets close on Friday? And let me just add here as well. Today is March 25th. And you guys will remember in my predictions, I said with the Dasher sequence and stuff, I said K2 starts driving the car March 26th, tomorrow. Troops are going to be there on Friday. Right. You see how it's all going. But anyway, so what is Trump's next move on Iran after the markets close on Friday? One card pull again. This time, Dave, you're going first.
So say it one more time.
So I'll just say it. Additional forces, including 2,000 paratroopers and special marine units, are set to arrive in the Middle East on Friday at the end of the 5-day window for negotiations. What is Trump's next move on Iran after the markets close on Friday? So what are they going to do? Are they going to do it, or is it going to be something else?
So before I show you my card, I'll tell you what I'm seeing.
Sure.
There's a helicopter. There's guys who are climbing up the rope ladder into the helicopter. There's a lot of fighting going on around them. It feels like escape. It feels like we got to get out of here. There's fire. There's uncontrollable fire going all around all of them. Oh, whoa, this just happened. So the rope is cut somehow, and some of those guys are falling. Wow. And I see a number of it feels to me like a number of these guys either don't succeed, potentially get captured or killed. I think that it does not feel like a success. It feels like a disaster. Let's see my card, which is indolence upside down, right? So I think that matches up. This is not looking good. I think it could be a total disaster along the lines of the last time we had people captured in Iran. That just seems, I mean, come on, how competent is Trump or Heads Width or whatever his name is? These guys aren't going to manage it. They're idiots.
Yeah, you're right. So let's reveal the rest of our cards after 3. 1, 2, 3, and we'll read from there. All right. Well, tuning in with what you were just saying there, Dave, and of course we'll look at a lady's cards as well. But as you guys know, I did some tarot and I did prediction on this. I said this is going to be a disaster. Before I said this is going to be an absolute disaster. K2 is basically now driving the car, and right on time, Degrasse Ranch is sending troops who do not want to be there into this scenario. And Iran are already prepared. They said, come, we're ready. I mean, these people are just beyond. So I don't think it's going to work much either. If we look here, well, I've got the Queen of Pentacles. This card I often use to refer to the electorate. So what this says to me is people, the American citizens are going to be watching this, and I think this is going to have a big political impact, and it already is having, but it's going to be even more. Why? Because this is the card of domestic stability, and I think that this is going to shake people's domestic stability. And once you do that, there's no going back. I think it's going to be a disaster. This isn't going to work. Lady G?
Well, the card I got out is the Queen of Swords, which for me is the card of truth. And underneath pushing it is the Ace of Swords. So he's going to send them in. Now he's talking about sending in the 82nd Airborne, which are, of course, the soldiers that are, parachuting, doing all of that. So that would go with what Dave is saying as well. Yeah. Disaster to send them there.
My gosh. Sheila, how do you interpret your card? Was it the 8 of Wands? Was it?
Yeah. I got the 8 of Wands. The 8 of Wands creates, the flying in, which I'm just learning now. That they're doing that. Fast movement. Also has sudden change. It also has unexpected news, and it says air travel. I'm just reading the words that are at the bottom of that. So as I was doing that, it's like it's gonna go fast. And then I drew a second card just for a clarification. Moving away.
Withdrawal.
Yeah.
Withdrawal. They're gonna.
All of you are talking about this. This right here. It's like you're sending. Iran's playing chess, and Trump and his ding dong Hegseth is playing checkers. And that was the saying that's so cliche, but that's the saying that comes in. Hegseth has no idea how to play war right. Iran does.
Oh yeah.
And they're done that. Did it a second time, right? So they're playing with people who already know how to fight, and the thing is it's the American troops who are paying for all of this. You know what I mean? Families. I have on my Facebook saying the tally has started, and every day I post the tally. I'm like,
this is madness, This is madness. This is absolute madness. To be doing this, to be telegraphing this when the enemy is already ready. Like, I've got to get this out. This is on a level of batshit that is just so beyond, because what's happened now is because the international oil price is going so high, the USA has actually lifted the sanctions on Iranian oil to try and keep the international oil price down. So they're about to make millions and billions, already. So it's completely counterintuitive, and Russia and China are giving intelligence to Iran in order to better be able to attack American soldiers. And Russia has now said to Trump, well, I'll only stop giving intelligence to Iran if you stop supporting Ukraine. And America, of course, has been supporting Ukraine with weapons and missiles and stuff, which means that they do not have enough weapons and missiles to defend, Middle East, Israel, whatever, including Taiwan. Taiwan are pissed off. Iran has closed the Strait of Hormuz, and it's only open to their friends. They are doing international fuel rationing already, guys. I've been hearing in Asia and Australia already. I think New Zealand has got about a week or so left this is just bonkers. It's just absolute insanity. Anything else to add there, folks, before we move to the next?
My question, practically speaking, we have no goal. How could we possibly achieve it? The only purpose is distraction. What are we going to do there? We're going to open up the Strait of Hormuz? That has nothing has been articulated. There is no goal, right? So it's a disaster. It's just intended to distract.
Yeah.
So that's all there is, just as a distraction. Will it be a good distraction for Trump? That's the only question. And I think for some reason, that particular place does not lend itself to success for Trump, even for Trump.
Bonkers, isn't it? Absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going in a completely different tone and direction, and I'm kind of glad. I mean, we're still dealing with someone who's unsavory, but we've not spoken about this person for a while. So we'll do another one card pull again because it's good to cover all of this ground. And this is coming from Angeli, and we've not heard this person for a while. So Angeli says, Ivanka has been very quiet these days. She's sandwiched between her husband, Jared, and her father, the orange monster. What do the cards show about how Ivanka is feeling about what's going on? And they say, thank you, beloveds. You help make these dark times a little bit more bright. Thank you so much. So let's do one card pull. Let's just do a read, see what's going on with Ivanka, someone who's gone very mute of late as her brothers and father run rampant. And her mother-in-law, of course, did the colossal of all flops as well with that movie. Ivanka. Oh, my God. This is just... can't make this stuff up. Ivanka. Ivanka. And I think I'm going first this time. So Ivanka. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, isn't this interesting? All right, here we are. So I'm going first on this one. So I get the Wheel of Fortune. What does that mean? What it means is, the way I'm interpreting this, like the Wheel of Fortune, it is a very powerful card. When the Phoenix is on the top, it's more inclined to good luck. However, no one can control the Wheel of Fortune. So imagine it's like being at the casino. You know, when you play and you spin that casino wheel, it's like that. And what it means is that she's not fully in control of her fate right now, and she may even be feeling a bit like a hostage to fortune. And when you think about it, this is actually, I mean, God, who knows what she's actually feeling, but in terms of her life, there is a lot of things that are out of her control, because on one hand, you've got Duck Larange, her father, who is just absolutely mango loony bin. And I will say this, I do think we are seeing one of the most elaborate forms of elderly abuse I've ever seen, ever. It doesn't excuse Trump, but there is elderly abuse going on here. So her dad's completely crackers, got his syphilitic rashes and what have you going on, and he's just completely losing the plot. While at the same time, she is married to Jared Kushner, who is one of the masterminds behind all of this, who is very, very close friends with Netanyahu. So she, as a person, is sort of privy to all of this knowledge and is like in the washing machine of these global events. So my sense is, in terms of feeling, I think she feels like she is not in control of her life. Lady G?
Well, what I got the card out was Ace of Wands. So a new action, and underneath of it, driving it, that is a no nightmare that she's sitting with. So the actions that they're doing, there's so many new actions happening, and she's just behind it like, oh my God, what next?
And Lady G, is that a mushroom cloud on that card? It looked to me like a mushroom cloud.
Sort of like, yeah.
Wow, it's a tornado. Wow.
Yeah, kind of looks, like the Iran war and stuff. And she's just like the major headache with this now.
Wow. Okay, Sheila, what cards do you have?
I pulled from my Mystic Witch deck, and I got Clever Moves. And if you can see underneath there, it says diplomatic. Find discreet ways to navigate. That pretty much wraps it all up, right? She has, you're right, she's in between husband nut job, father, nut job, and children and all of that. I mean, she's had to literally moving around. Now, I particularly don't care for her. I have a feeling that she doesn't have it. We should do the barb on her. I don't think we've ever done the
Oh
barb.
yeah, yeah, we'll do the bard. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
Because I think she's a manipulator from the core. I think she's been taught from the best. I think she also knows her father's secrets, to be honest with you. I have felt that for quite some time. Like, see, she went silent. She went into the back way. It's almost like she's saying silently, yeah, I already knew who and what he is. And I don't know if she's a victim or not. She's never said or anything like that. But to be honest with you, predators don't care if they're their own children or not. So she's just had to navigate all of this pretty discreetly, and probably she will probably win in the end because
foxes are survivors. I think she's a survivor. For me personally, we can't prove it, but that's my feeling. It's my feeling. Dave, what are you getting?
So maybe we'll talk a bit about this card because it's to some degree confusing to me. This is the power card, and when it is right side up. I'll tell you, when I just sort of tune into her, she's like wringing her hands. Oh my God, what am I going to do? And it's like, oh, I got this problem here. I got this problem here. And it's like somebody with a bunch of plates, right? And I do agree with you. Whether it was outright, to some degree on a psychological level, she has had to be a survivor in a totally messed up family. I mean, you notice she didn't join the new, White House crew. She is like, no, I'm not touching that one. I'm going to get as far away from this. I think she's quite aware of the danger that they are in. And she's going, how do I survive? And, she's a mother with children. She goes to prison. The children are parentless. If her husband goes to prison, then there's some problems too. So I think, and maybe this card means all y'all are right. First of all, these things are going on and she'll make it. She'll survive. And I kind of intuitively think of all of the characters, she's kind of the least distasteful. I mean, I don't think she's a super person or anything, but I do see her in a situation which, if we were in that family, how would we behave? What would we do to survive? Not thrive, just survive. And that doesn't excuse her, corruption because it's overt. But in comparison with the others, if we were going to put them all on trial, I think she would be the one that would get the most favor. And, maybe it has something to do with gender or something else. She would be the one. They're like, okay, we'll be nice to her. We're going to cook the others. I would kind of be okay with that to some degree, because I do feel like her participation was one of dysfunction as opposed to outright intention. Doesn't excuse it entirely, but I think that she's a smart survivor. By the way, I actually know somebody who went to school with her, and what they said, and university with her, what they said was she was a perfectly nice person. She was nice to everybody. So she's smart. She didn't need to do that. She's smart enough to go, all of these relationships could become important. Don't be mean, because one of them, I'm going to have potential business with anyone. So I don't think it's an essential niceness. I think that she is wise enough to know how to play her cards.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because as I sort of getting at some intuitive hits myself, I have the feeling out of all of the children, she's most like Ivana. She's most like her mother. It seems obvious to say it, and obviously the look and what have you, but I think she's the one that got more of Ivana brains, because it was one of the biggest reasons, part of why Trump's casinos failed so much as well, was once that marriage actually broke down, they said it was actually Ivana that was doing the majority of the running. Obviously, Trump is a lunatic. This is why he bankrupts casinos. But I think she's had to navigate a lot. And if you think of, you got a predatory father like that and all of his predatory friends, and when you're hearing how the royal princesses were also in these islands because Fergie took them along, and they're royal princesses. So I'm thinking she knows an awful lot. I think she's had to navigate an awful lot. Like we say, we're not making excuses for her, but I think there's a lot going there, and why she's very wisely stepped back. I think there's quite a lot going on with Ivanka. But nonetheless, let's see what the Bard has to say about Ivanka. So the way it works, Dave, I've got my and for those that want to know where to find the book, it's in the video description. This is Shakespeare, The Bard's Guide to Abuses and Affronts. So I will flick backwards and forwards through the page, Dave, and as you're our guest today, and you just tell me where to stop, and that is going to be the Bard's opinion on Ivanka, yeah?
Stop.
Oh. Oh, this is quite interesting. He's been quite cryptic today. All right. So this is from Henry VIII. Says here, his curses and blessings touch me alike. Their breath I not believe in. Isn't that interesting? When we were just saying that, like, if you think in terms of like, she's got this crazy dad and she's dealing with Jared, and obviously it means she's having to deal with Netanyahu and plus her own whatevers. Isn't it interesting? His curses and blessings touch me alike. It's almost like with her father, yeah? He's a curse, but he's also rich and all of this kind of stuff. And it says they, so they are plural. They are breath I not believe in. So it's almost like she's going along for the ride for the sake of, surviving or just going along for the ride. I don't think her heart is in it.
Yeah.
Wow.
And could Trump be more Henry VIII?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
exactly. You can see, it's from Henry VIII.
Same color, same waistline.
I think that's very interesting. I think the Bard said something very subtle there. I just want to say as well, thank you to everyone who is joining us live right now. At the moment, we are 2,816 of you joining us here live. So thank you so much. Please be sure, if you've not done so already, to like and subscribe. Subscription is free, of course. They should call it follow, really. That would make more sense, wouldn't it? To help the channel grow and have it reach more people, hype and all that jazz. And of course, if you've not done so yet either, please subscribe as well to Lady G, Sheila, and Dave. All right. Are we ready for the next question, folks?
Sure.
Yep. Okay, let's go. This is, this one's quite interesting. So this is coming from Tamara Camp. I've kind of spoken about this, but they've asked the question. This time, so I went first, so it'd be Lady G going first again on this one. So Tamara Camp says, wickedly and wonderful mystic of tomorrow. Yeah, so wickedly wonderful mystics of tomorrow. That's great. When the orange regime falls, will the US remain intact, or will it break into two or smaller countries? Ooh. Now with this is quite a big question. I think this probably should be maybe a full card pull. Let's do a full card. Dave, pull as many cards as you want, but I want a longer one on this one from you guys. Full card pull. Once the orange Trumpenstein douchebaggery falls, what happens to America? Does it stay together or does it separate? And Dave, you can pull 2, 3, 4, however many you like. I'm going to pull 5, which is what I usually do for a full card. Hope you guys are enjoying the show. Thanks so much for joining us. Thanks so much for your questions as well. Ooh. All right. So Lady G's going first on this one. Let me sip
I'm not quite done pulling here yet.
No problem. We'll give you a minute. It's all good.
Thank you. I've got to move these cards. These cards are a little large here. So,
I mean, what times we I just talk to the crowd. In fact, while you're doing that, let's click up on some of the comments actually. And so many people, so people are talking about the weather. Oh, someone says here, oh, I love an astrological question. So Crazy Jane or Crazy Jane says, question is it true there's a 13 zodiac signs and 13 months on old Aztec calendars? And did they do away with the 13th for the sake of math? So it is true. There is a 13th sign of the zodiac, and it is called a fucus. So the ancients knew about this. A fucus sits between what we now consider Scorpio and Sagittarius. So actually, there are a lot less Scorpios than people think. It's actually quite a big constellation. And it goes from around about the middle, so let's say around 15, 16 degrees of sidereal Scorpio, all the way up until about 29 degrees of sidereal Scorpio. So it's that last tranche. And a fucus is known as the serpent priest, yeah, the serpent tamer. So I'll show you the glyph for that while Lady G's getting her cards together. But it's true, and it's like this. Here, I'll just show you the glyph. This is the glyph for a fucus. And it has a lot to do with sacred knowledge, but it can go either way. It can be, if the person is using the energy well, then they will be a healer, and they will use esoteric knowledge to heal people. But the shadow of it is the cult leader. And guess who's got planets in a fucus? Yeah, Degrasse. I'll confess I have my Neptune there. I have Neptune in a fucus as well, but I'd use the energy for good. Anyway, Lady G, how are you proceeding? You ready?
yep. So the first thing out, there will be facing loss. Okay. So the first thing out is facing loss. The energy coming into it are things that are still up in the air, and what friends where they're looking to, and part of the problem is going to be financial things happening, because we got to dig out from all of the money that they've wasted. So coming into it, of course, we've got the wheel of karma turning, and the challenge is dealing with the dark side, dealing with the drama that we've had, because above it is about control. And the foundation is the clock is ticking. Potential outcome is charging forward, okay, taking action. With an outside influence of the swords are coming down. The truth is coming out. The burden of all of that. Above it is looking at new stories, new ways forward, and the foundation looking at the fly in the ointment. So again, it's going to be a lot of digging out and working together to move forward and get rid of the corruption and all of the dark drama that's happened. And part of it is dealing financially, because, they've just really dug us in a hole.
Wow. Thanks so much for that. Sheila, how do you interpret your cards in terms of the fall of the Degrasse regime? What happens next? America stays together or it breaks up?
Well, the first card up was delusion. We got the message about the delusion. The United States is not in the dark anymore about the crazy, the delusion, and the fakeness, because underneath it is the moon. The fear of the illusion was really, really bad in this country anyway. It's not like we didn't know. It's like we didn't know. You know what I mean? Coming into this is the Queen of Swords, which is that bitter cover-up. They worked really hard at that bitter cover-up. But, we need a new king with a vision. King of Wands. Somebody can get something done. Somebody has a new vision, and we need a new leader. And unfortunately, I would love to say that it's a woman, but it's gonna have to be a man at this point in order to kind of carry a lot of those MAGA guys with us. Then we're going to just start cutting through the truth. We have the Ace of Swords going forward as well. We literally have to get to mental clarity and determination, and we have to agree to a victory, or else we will fall. We have to agree that the heartbreak really destroyed us. We have to also make a hard choice. Either we're going to fall or we're going to succeed. Which is it going to be? And then the magician shows up. Now, the magician at the end of all of the, my Celtic cross was really interesting to me, because what it's kind of telling me is we have the magic to succeed. Why aren't we using it? Right? Why aren't we using it? And then the double-edged side, because I'm a Gemini, I do the opposite side as well. We also have a whole bunch of illegal people who are going through a whole bunch of anxiety. And we're going to have years and years of courts and people being held accountable. It's just going to take a long time. Or else, and the other choice is crickets. What are we going to choose? So it's like this thing. Either as Americans, we're going to have to choose, and it's going to be a hard choice. And which side are we going to be on? Success, or are we going to just allow it to fall? We're all in it together, unfortunately.
Gosh, wow. Thanks so much for that. Dave, what do you get?
First card, I just pulled 3. And first one is change, and it's upside down. So one thing I want to put a little bit of positive spin on this. Change is often unpleasant. It's often a problem. America has been doing horrible things for hundreds of years. It needs to change, right? And maybe some of the exposure is showing up. It's a little bit like the stuff, all those materials keeping me up at night. So I spoke to an awesome lady named Ann Weber. And she channeled all this stuff. Let it break. Just let it all break. You don't have control over it, and just accept that there's a greater idea here in the universe. I'm saying this is change. Notice it's upside down, so it's not fun change. It's not like good planning change. It is the worst kind of change, but it is change. The next card, interesting, and the thing is, the phallic symbol that Lady G picked looks just very similar. Notice that it's upside down. It's the devil, right? So we now know we're dealing with the devil in some sense. But the devil is also change. It is that random experience of change. It's not necessarily terribly bad. But we are in a battle. It is dark and light. Let's not forget about that. We do have to do something. Here's the cross card, and that's just like the environment card, almost like what's going on in the universe card. And it is indeed the, I think it's the universe. No, it's the Aeon. So it's a new era in time. So just to really answer that question, and this is sort of, I feel in my gut, it's not the end of America. It is a transformation, just like a civil war in Britain and the civil war in the United States. It is real. It is distressing. It is disturbing. But I am wondering if it just had to play out in such a way that we all had to experience this and witness it. I feel like it's coming apart, but I do feel like it is going to come back together. I even feel that Trump is given an opportunity to prove how terrible he and the Republican Party are, so that even those people who watch TV and say, yeah, that's great, are now looking at $6 gas prices and not being able to feed their kids. That is transformational. It means the knuckleheads that you were speaking of, really, it's a question of feeding your kids. That may be the only thing that changed their minds.
Wow. Thanks so much for that. And yeah, it's just to see it on. Thanks to anyone as well who donated. Thank you so much. Just to click this up here for this specific information coming in from Sue Ferguson here. Bay Area, California, regular over $6 per gallon. Now, I'm not an American, as you guys know, but I know that's pretty high. Yeah, $6 a gallon is ouchie. Yeah, if you don't, particularly if you don't have an electric car or something like that. And of course, what happens, as we know, even though we live in this modern age of renewable energies, which of course, which China has done a lot of, they've got whole mountainsides, literally mountainsides covered in the desert, in solar panels, by the way. And then they've got fish farms, yeah, where they grow fish, and then they've got floating solar panels. So all of this stuff can be done, but it's everything. Imagine oil is blood to an economy. That's really what it is. And you remember when I said when they cut off the Strait of Hormuz, it's like the whole world is having a heart attack. It feeds into everything because haulage, it affects food, it affects goods, everything. Everything needs fuel. So this is a worry. But anyway, to answer the question, will the USA break up into smaller pieces after the regime has fallen? All right, these are the cards that I've got. First of all, look, 8 of Pentacles. This is going to be hard work, guys. Graft. What this says to me is America's going to have to build itself up from the ground up. Yeah, it's going to have to look at everything. You see, there's 8 pentacles here. So it's going to have to look at its governance, transport, infrastructure, fuel, financial, fiscal, the whole shebang. And this, of course, pentacles also talk about finances. So this could also be a complete financial reset as well of the United States. Just in case we weren't sure, in the next position here, we get the Page of Pentacles. So again, this is talking about messaging. This is talking about money again. This will talk a lot as well about how the different states will be funded and who gets what. This is what I strongly suspect. If we look here in the middle card, now this is quite positive, but we have the 6 of Cups here. There is going to be a deep nostalgia for the old America. Yeah, but in the true sense, I think it's already happening. Isn't it interesting? I've been watching YouTube and I've been seeing the Magatonians, yeah, the blockheads saying, oh, maybe Biden wasn't so bad. Oh, I miss Biden. It's like, really? Now you miss Biden? It's just like, oh my God. Anyway, so there's this sense here of nostalgia, but maybe wanting to get back to some kind of, the sense I get where America wants to get back to with being with the land again, the growing things again. You notice here they're in a garden. So I think this is going to be talking about growing food, all of this big, massive agribusiness. I see that kind of breaking down. I don't see, I think people are going to want more authentic. Yeah, this is talking about authentic, more innocent experiences. I think this is kind of maybe hopefully going back to good organic food, maybe with independent growers and family run businesses. Yeah, this is all to do with family as well. So I think there's that element there. If we look here, look at this, just in case we weren't sure. Judgment card, massive wake up call. This, as if it weren't bad enough, but this Iran war and its consequences are literally waking up the dead on this one. I mean, we're talking hardcore blockhead MAGA are going to be waking up on this one. And as we've already predicted, I'm sorry, guys, but if they put those troops on the ground, I really hope they don't. But it's not going to be good. I'm not going to go into any more detail. Iran are ready, and they've not even begun to use the big stuff. They're waiting. They knew that this would come. Anyway, wake up call. And then look, the outcome is the World, yeah, which talks about the ending of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. I think this is where a lot of Americans really realize that the world has a massive impact. The world has a say. And this is also a time as well where the world is having no choice but to turn away because it's so ridiculous. But maybe it means that America will rejoin the world after all of this is over. That's what I hope. That was everyone, wasn't it? Wait. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just making sure. Wow. Okay, the time has gone in absolute flash. Let's squeeze maybe one more in. And this is coming from Jerry Gelding, one court card pull. And she says here, hello, Perian panel. Do the cards show what will bring down the regime? Military action, US citizens reclaiming power, or disarming ICE revolution, or something else? So one card pull. What will bring down the regime, the Trump regime? And I think it will be Sheila going first on this one. Yeah.
And we made it to 3,000.
Yes, it was just over 3,000. Thank you, guys watching us live. All right, what will bring down the regime? One card pull to close the show. Sorry if we didn't get a chance to read out your questions, folks. I'll bring the regime down. All right. So we'll go after 3 when Sheila's ready. All right, are we ready to go? Lovely. All right, 1, 2, 3. What do you have, Sheila?
Verge? I get a time frame. Not what's gonna happen, but I get the time frame. Verge. I mean, it's like it's about to reveal. I mean, whatever it is, I didn't get the card of what it is, but we're on the verge. I've said this for a little while. I mean, it's knocking at the door, whatever it is, and when somebody finds that door, we're on the verge of it absolutely ending.
Wow.
And it's a teapot, like we're having tea. We're having tea to be celebrating. So
or even spilling the tea, that information.
Pouring the tea. Yes, maybe it is.
Wow. Dave, how do you interpret, what card do you have?
Lust. It's the lust card upside down, right? And I hope I'm not a little biased here, because I believe it or not, kind of had an image. I think this is if a possibility that the Republicans might take him out, that the Republicans are reading the writing on the wall and going, there is no way out of this war with Trump. And there's no way we're going to get anywhere near our power in the midterms. And that is pretty much bottom line for any one of these creeps, right? And, we all touched the lust. We all got it. We all got all those, bigoted Nazis to go, aha, we got the power, and touch the power here, right? The dark, evil, lusty power. We could also know what else that would mean, right? Lust. But, it's upside down. I think the time of touching that energy may be coming to an end. They're starting to go, look at the future. We're going to be stuck with this mess. He's not going to live forever. I think it's possible that they could just do 25th Amendment. You're looking pretty sick. We're going to give you a jab. Next day, he's in the hospital. He might not necessarily be opposed to that right now, right? This is not working out for him at all. He's pretty close to death. I think we all agree. So I think it's just take a second look. Are they going to take him out? I'm getting a nodding. Hegseth, believe it or not, although he won't be around.
He would love to take
others. Let's see. You guys going to take him out? Okay. So I'm seeing a bunch of senators, Republican senators, and like, they're not going to tell us. I think, look, if you were a Republican senator, what would you do? Would you just go run along, face the midterms and your certain ending and potential arrest? Or would you go, let's manage the situation now that he isn't so powerful? How would you do it? This way is what I would do.
Interesting. Yeah, I think that's a good point. And what I would say is, one thing I can say this, when they do take out Trump, it's going to be like Murder on the Orient Express. You remember that film? It was like 7 people did it.
Yes, exactly right.
And he is in that astrology. Guys, I've been saying, he's like, once that Jupiter becomes exalted, it's going to be very, very difficult for Trump. And that happens on around the 1st of June. His birthday could be a real disaster because K2 is coming up the other side. So it's going to be all sorts of consequences for him. And, grandpa, they'll peel their hands off the wheel. But the main thing that will sort of like do it, here we've got the 7 of Pentacles, which I referred to as the card of ROI, return on investment. This could also be alluding to insider trading and that kind of stuff as well. So for me, I think it's it's just, again, it's the money. Once he starts losing too many people money, that's when they'll get rid, because that's all they care about. And Lady G, to close.
Okay, well, what I got was the high priestess. So what's been hidden and underneath of it driving it is the Queen of Cups. The lid is off, things are being exposed, and
Yeah.
people are just tired of it. We want a gentler place. We want to get back to compassion. So they're just done with him. And, all this stuff is being revealed. So major change with that.
Wow. As you would say, Lady G, the lid is off the cup of abominations.
Yes.
Fascinating. Well, folks, the time has gone in an absolute flash. As we know, an hour is never enough, but we are busy people, and we have to respect also as well the viewers and their time. Thank you. As well over 1,000 of you joined us this evening. Please be sure to like and subscribe, of course, to the channel, help it share, grow, and of course to my guests this evening. Thank you, folks. I think that was fascinating. We covered a lot of ground, very dynamic, I think fascinating insights. Dave, great to have you back. As usual, I'll message after the show at some point when I remember to email everyone, or people write back to me, and I get back to them 2 weeks later because there's so much bloody drama going on. But so it's a pleasure having you back on the show. And of course, ladies, Lady G, Sheila, we're seeing you next week. So we'll be seeing you soon, folks. Chin up, everyone. We know it's diabolical. We know it's horrible. But remember, do the things that you love. Remember your pets, family, loved ones that you can talk to. Make sure you've got some good storage of food. You guys know this. Like I said, don't panic, but make sure you got your tins, your stuff. Just be ready. And also as well, just understand that this is a process and there's not much that we can do. It just has to shake out at this stage. K2's driving the car. Yeah, Rahu Dasha. Anything can happen, but keep the faith, and I hope we've given you some comfort and some entertainment tonight. So we will leave it there. Bye-bye, everyone, and we'll see you all soon. All right.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks.
All right. See you. Bye-bye. Make sure I got that right, if I can even click the thing. All right, here we go.